satellite orbits Earth at 17,000 miles per hour. At exactly 3:21 a.m., it glitches. Power systems short out, telemetry goes dead, just for a moment. And then everything comes back online, but no one knows why. It didn't hit anything, and it didn't get hacked. It passed over one place, the South Atlantic. It's been called Earth's Bermuda Triangle in space. But this one is real, it's growing, and it's getting stranger. What happens when Earth's defenses start to fail? In 1979, NASA launched the Pioneer Venus Orbiter, a multi-million-dollar spacecraft engineered to study the planet next door. But before it could even leave Earth's neighborhood, it glitched. Its instruments shut down as it passed over a strange patch of ocean. No storms or solar flares, just dead silence. And then everything came back. Mission Control marked the anomaly and moved on. They had no idea what they'd just flown through. But they weren't the last. From the coast of Brazil to the edge of Namibia lies a magnetic weak spot, a place where Earth's protective field, the invisible force that shields us from radiation, dips closer to the planet than anywhere else. It's called the South Atlantic Anomaly. Astronauts call it the glitch zone.
This region corresponds to the lowest point of Earth's magnetic field strength. Radiation here can increase tenfold, disrupting electronics, memory systems, even biological tissues.
Satellites shut down when they fly through it. The Hubble telescopes powers down. The International Space Station, its crew is ordered to avoid experiments during the crossing. Astronauts have reported sudden flashes of light in their eyes, as if something is hitting their optic nerves. But here's the thing, it's not staying still. Between 2000 and 2020, the anomaly doubled in size. Now, it's splitting in two.
Data from ESA's SWARM mission indicates a second magnetic minimum, forming southwest of Africa. The field is not only weakening, it's fragmenting.
That has never happened before, and no one knows what it means. Some scientists say it's harmless, just a quirk of how molten iron moves to the Earth's core. But others believe it's a symptom, a sign that something is changing beneath our feet. And they're not alone. In 2002, the ISS lost partial control of its guidance systems during a routine pass over the anomaly. This wasn't a solar flare, and it wasn't a human error. Telemetry just disappeared, then came back. NASA never gave a public explanation. So what is this place? Because it's not just interfering with machines, it's creeping, spreading, and inching towards something no one wants to say out loud. Earth's last magnetic shield might be cracking. For centuries, humanity looked up to explain the unexplainable. But some of the deepest mysteries are buried right below us. When we first discovered the South Atlantic Anomaly, it seemed like a glitch. A weak patch in the Earth's magnetic field. Unusual, yes, but harmless. Then, geologists started looking down. Beneath the anomaly, under thousands of miles of rock and pressure, is a massive geological structure. So massive, it bends gravity itself. It's called African Large Low Shear Velocity Province, or LLSVP. That name doesn't sound exciting, but what it is might be one of the most important and the least understood features on Earth.
LLSVPs are dense, seismically anomalous zones at the boundary between Earth's mantle and outer core. Their composition and origin remain largely speculative.
Let's break that down. When earthquakes ripple through the planet, they slow down near this zone, as if something buried deep inside the Earth is heavier, or denser, or stranger. One theory says that these provinces are the remains of an ancient tectonic plate swallowed by the Earth, compressed over billions of years. Another, they're alien. Not extraterrestrial, just fundamentally different from everything else in the mantle. But here's where it connects to the anomaly above. The LLSVP under Africa sits directly beneath the South Atlantic Anomaly. It's disrupting the flow of molten iron in the outer core, which is what generates our magnetic field in the first place. Think of Earth's magnetic field like a spinning top. This thing is the wobble, and the wobble is growing.
Magnetic anomalies correlate with areas of core-mantle interaction. This region exhibits signs of thermal upwelling and slowed convection, possible precursors to geomagnetic instability.
So what happens if it keeps growing? Let's rewind Earth's history. Over the past 160 million years, Earth's magnetic poles have flipped dozens of times. Not suddenly and not overnight, but over centuries, sometimes thousands of years. It's called a geomagnetic reversal. North becomes south, south becomes north. But those flips aren't clean. They come with chaos. Data from ESA's swarm satellites reveals that Earth's magnetic north is moving, and fast, accelerating from Canada towards Siberia at over 50 kilometers per year.
Magnetic north has shifted more in the past 50 years than in the previous 300. It's no longer stable. This could be a signal of impending polarity change.
Right now, Earth's magnetic field is weakening. The South Atlantic Anomaly is growing. Magnetic north is drifting faster than ever before. And some scientists are beginning to whisper what few want to say out loud. This could be the beginning of a pole shift.
Geomagnetic reversals are unpredictable. The last one occurred 780,000 years ago. We are statistically overdue.
So what happens if the poles flip? It doesn't look like fire and brimstone. At first, it looks like inconvenience. The satellites are malfunctioning. GPS goes haywire. Birds and whales migrate in the wrong direction. But then, the magnetic field weakens to near zero. And in that collapse, we lose our shield. Radiation from space floods the atmosphere. Astronauts cannot leave orbit. Air travel over the poles, grounded. Low orbit satellites, fried, failing or falling from the sky. And what about Earth? Ultraviolet levels rise. Radiation seeps through where it never has before. Cancers spike. Electronics degrade faster. Crops fail under abnormal weather patterns. Global positioning, telecommunication and power grids, all designed with one assumption, that Earth's magnetic field stay constant. But we built our entire digital world on a planetary feature we barely understand. And now, that feature is glitching.
Without geomagnetic shielding, solar storms could directly impact ground infrastructure. A Carrington-level event today could disable entire continents.
In 1859, a solar storm hit Earth so hard telegraph wires caught fire. Auroras lit up the skies over Cuba and Colombia. That was during normal magnetic conditions. Now imagine something like that, but with no field to stop it. Governments know this is possible. They've run scenarios. In 2015, the US Department of Homeland Security quietly issued a warning. A geomagnetic disturbance could cause blackouts lasting weeks or months. Think about that. Weeks with no power, no GPS, no internet, no clean water systems, and no working banks. It's not just about tech, it's about trust, coordination, and survival. Because if the poles shift, if we lose our magnetic defense, we don't just face a physical crisis, we face a psychological one too. People panic when systems they depend on stop behaving predictably. It's not the end of the world, but it might feel like it.
Human behavior under high uncertainty often leads to cascading failures. Panic, misinformation, and infrastructure strain compound one another.
And here's the deeper fear. What if this has happened before? 42,000 years ago, during the Lachamp excursion, Earth's field collapsed. And in that exact window, species vanished. Neanderthals, mammoths, Something shifted in our evolutionary story. Some believe early humans went underground. Some believe entire belief systems were born from the skies that turned red. And now, that field is weakening again, at a rate faster than ever observed. Could this be a pattern? Could the South Atlantic Anomaly be part of a cycle that resets human civilization every few thousand years? Ancient myths from Aboriginal Australia speak of a sky wave that turned day to night. In South America, stories speak of the earth's trembling, the sky splitting open. Are these just metaphors, or fragments of a memory from a world that nearly ended?
Cultural continuity over geomagnetic cycles is poorly documented. Oral histories may retain distorted echoes of real celestial events.
It's tempting to spiral. When you hear the Earth's shield is glitching, your brain jumps to the end, to collapse, to silence, to fire from the sky. But that's not the whole story. The magnetic field has changed before. It has flipped before. And if we believe the science, it will do both again. But we're still here.
During past reversals, Earth retained its atmosphere. Life endured. Most reversals caused environmental stress, not extinction-level events.
In other words, the world doesn't end when the field wobbles. But it does shift. Migratory animals adapt. Atmospheric conditions change. Our machines take the hit long before we do. But that's also the gift. We see it coming. Today we're tracking every magnetic ripple in real time. ESA, NASA, JAXA, satellites map the anomaly. Supercomputers model reversals. We don't know when, but we know how to prepare. And if the field continues to weaken, we adjust with new shielding, new orbit protocols, new systems that don't assume Earth is unchanging.
Contingency planning is already underway. Spacecraft are being built with anomaly shielding. Flights are rerouted. Redundancies are in development.
That's not science fiction. It's happening now. And maybe that's the bigger idea behind all of this. That the real danger isn't in the anomaly itself. It's in thinking that our world never shifts. That the ground beneath us is stable. That what was yesterday will always be. So yes, something is happening beneath the Atlantic. It is strange, it is real, and we don't have all the answers. But maybe that's okay. Maybe just asking the questions is how we keep the signal from going dark. We began this story with a satellite, orbiting silently, dutifully, until it didn't. It glitched, it went dark, and then came back online. And no one knew why. But maybe it wasn't a malfunction. Maybe it was the system reacting to a world we don't fully understand. A world that's always shifting, always humming just below the threshold of certainty. For centuries we believed the world beneath our feet was stable, that what lies below is solid, immovable and eternal. But now we know better. We know there are rivers of molten metal flowing beneath us, zones of gravity that bend time, pulses of magnetic chaos that stretch across oceans. And in the middle of it all, an invisible wound, growing wider and deeper.
Its expansion continues, but so does our understanding. The anomaly is not an end, it is a signal.
A signal that the Earth is not fixed, that it lives, breathes, and sometimes it glitches. So what happens when Earth's defense starts to fail? Maybe we adapt, maybe we rebuild, maybe we just keep listening. Because sometimes the most important signals aren't the loudest. They're the ones we almost miss. Truth, fiction, you decide.